Now I hope it's fixed. Apologies about the inconvenience. So I'm Carlos Ruiz Garvia. I'm the project manager of the Global Innovation Hub, and it's a pleasure to host you today. So welcome to the on-site participants, and welcome also to our remote audience participate in this session. I have the privilege to have in the floor Celeste, Cecilia, Turco. She is the Director of Sustainability at PricewaterhouseCoopers Middle East. She's based in Dubai, so it's a privilege to have her, and she will be introducing from the maturity of SDG, ESG maturity tools to SDG. This is a really much needed monitoring tool. As you can see, our agenda in the Global Innovation Hub is very much connected to a development agenda, is how we promote transformative innovation that is aligned not only with the Paris Agreement, but with the broader scope of the SDG. So we are very much looking forward to have your presentation. Cecilia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Carlo. And thank you to UNFCCC, to Avazaz. Thank you, Masamba. And thank you to all who are here today. I'm very, very excited to introduce to you our ESG maturity tool. As we all know, and the reason why we are all here, are the SDGs. And where we stand. I know we have very few time, so I'll be very brief, but I would like maybe to say a few words about myself, apart from the fact that you can see I'm limping around. So I'm a sovereign fund and sustainability expert. I work with PwC on the ESG sustainability practice. And my love and passion and my experience for sovereign fund, sustainability and innovation prompted to devote this period on creating an innovative tool. I hope you can hear me because I hear a lot of echo. Why we need an innovative tool and where we stand now? Well, nowadays, the governments that we want to support in solving their problems have committed to achieve by 2030 the 17 US SDGs. But where we stand? Actually, we're a little bit far behind, and that's why I guess we are all here today, and we are finding solution. So according to the latest report, we have progress only on 55.5 UN SDGs. A lot should be done. But I really like the idea that a lot should be done in terms of UN SDGs progress, and a lot should be done in terms of improving what we measure. Because among the number of challenges in improving and progressing, there is the collection of data. And that's where we come from. That's our task, to support government not only to collect data, but collect data in a quantitative, easy way that can provide assessment repeatable over time, reliable, and standardized. And I know the question is, we have tried this for a long time. True. That's why we started with an assessment for government on ESG. As you know, ESG and climate change and UN SDG number 13 for us are very much related. And actually, when we look at the data and we look at number 13, we are really far away. But it's a huge problem. So why we are so far in analyzing data, in collecting data, hence in having the possibility to define actionable science-based targets, strategies, roadmap. So I'm not going to tell you more why it's urgent climate change, because I guess that if you are here, you know and you have already heard, but maybe you haven't heard why it's so important from the Gulf. And us in PwC Middle East, we live every day trying to solve these challenges. And it's not by chance that COP27 is in Egypt and COP28, it's in the United Arab Emirates. But we have a lot of risk in this part of the world. Water scarcity, food import dependency, energy security, climatic disaster, and large-scale migration. Can you imagine that Bahrain is at risk? 56% of Bahrain by 2100 might be covered by water. But as well, we have a great opportunity here. And really, being here today, it's a great opportunity for all of us to find innovative solutions. Which is the opportunity here? Of course, we're better than the Gulf or the Middle East. We can transition toward renewable energy sources, where we have finance, sovereign wealth funds, that can consciously invest in green investment, in impact investments, and people. 60% of the population, and I'm coming from Italy, here is actually under the age of 25. What does it mean? That the preference of these people are for sustainable products, sustainable service, sustainable way of life, sustainable employees. They really want to have a word. So there's a great opportunity here. So how we capture this opportunity? We analyze all the challenges the governments face nowadays, and we decided that they really need to have a support. And I think the panel before me discussed about technology and how technology can support. So I'm very happy to tell you what has been done so far, describe our ESG maturity tool. Unfortunately, I cannot take the credit of all this tool just because my colleague Azem is here. So I want to pay credit of somebody who really has a great experience in government and support me and the team to create this tool. Because actually the tool addresses all kinds of governments. Specifically in this part of the world, we have government that maybe in the Eastern world and Western world we are not used to, such as Royal Commission, such as central government, sectorial, but we go down to municipalities. We were discussing today with Roland the importance of major. And we go over. We're going to measure the ESG performance of their subsidiaries. And then we're going to include also sovereign funds. What is new, why this tool is new, is different, because it's AI-based, it's digital, and with a very, very, very simple set of questions, can tell you as a government, as a major, as a head of the sovereign, how you're performing in your ESG performance. Okay, but then, on the basis of that, you can have a baseline that you can monitor over time, that you can repeat, and you can create a science-based strategy and roadmap. Very simple. How does it work? And it will take only 2 minutes, and I will show you the tool itself. First of all, we're going to benchmark, we're going to assess the 5 key functions of all the governments, such as strategy and policy making, investing and financing, service delivery, internal policies and operation, measuring, monitor, reporting. And I guess measuring, monitor, reporting is something that we are all here for. A quantitative AI-based analysis. Data, the importance of data. I think we repeated in many of the panel. But what we have been benchmarking? So through the analysis of different international standards, such as SASB, TSFD, and others, we identify those 27 sub-criteria that are relevant for government. And if we look at this part of the world, you can say that, for example, diversity and inclusion, human capital development, localization and country value are really relevant for this part of the world, but not only. But then, which are the strange number on all of them? We actually realize that all of these criteria and the improvement of the achievement of these criteria are related to the SDGs. And that's why we started thinking why we don't evolve from an ESG maturity tool to an SDG maturity tool. And that's what we're presenting today. A tool that's already existing, the ESG maturity tool that we are deploying in the region and outside the region to different government entities from municipalities, Royal Commission, Department of Energies, to a tool that will support them to assess how they are performing on their SDGs. So quickly, how does it work? The list of questions are going to assess the different dimensions, environmental, social, and governance, the different sub-criteria we just saw, in their different functions. And why we do this exercise? What's the outcome? Actually, the outcome is very interesting. In accordance to this assessment, we're going to have not only a numerical rating, but also heat maps. And these heat maps are interactive, and I'm going to show the interactive ones in a second, and are going to enable us to see where we stand and which has our improvement and how we can tackle them with a very quick win. Maybe we just need to change the bulb of our light, or maybe we need to have a new policy, or maybe we need to have a new strategy, or maybe we are very good in what we do, but we don't monitor and report what we do, we don't engage stakeholders. So a very simple exercise that enables us to arrive with a full assessment of where we stand. So I show you just quickly how it is in reality, because I think it's interesting to see that actually the tool exists. And through a simple exercise, you can see all your performances. And when you want to see where you can improve, for example, I might decide that I want to see why I'm not up to my target on governance. I can see in a second where I'm not performing and where I can improve, both in terms of sub-criteria and in terms of key function. For in this case, maybe I need to invest more in my strategy, in my investing and financing and service delivery. So what is really interesting in terms of next step is that moving from a tool that allows us to support government to perform better in their ESG assessment, and we know how is it important and relevant for their commitment in terms of net zero, national vision, SDGs, we will move into a new tool that from the ESG assessment will be directed directly to SDGs. So it will not use relationship between ESG criteria and SDGs, but will measure directly SDGs considering their target and their indicators. So I stop here. I just wanted to share with you how we are excited after we saw some good results in using the ESG maturity tool for governments to transition and work as we are doing now, including in the assessment of SDGs.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Celeste. This is fantastic. We are very privileged to be part of this launching this tool. As you know, we launched as well a collaboration digital platform a few days ago. So the idea is to have more platforms coming in, more tools coming in, so that we can be a hub of hubs. So we will be looking forward to continue collaborating. And we are moving from the what of the Paris Agreement, the SDGs, to the how. It's time of implementation, so we need data, and with data and machine learning, we can of course move to the next level of implementation. So thank you for that. Our next participant in this session, and I forgot to thank you for your commitment. I noticed that you have your foot ill, and this shows and tells a lot about your commitment to walk all the way through and come to this place. Thank you for that. Our next participant is Roland Schatz. Roland will be reflecting on the SDGs, the tools, the performance monitoring. This is, of course, part of the activities that also create the domino effect in terms of implementation. And Roland is the Chief Executive Officer and founder of the UNGSII. And Roland, you have the floor.
Well, as my time is out, I will try to be very short. We spoke already yesterday about how one can make reasonable returns by being invested in SDGs. That is what the SCI 500 is illustrating since 5 years under the leadership of the former president of NASDAQ and Joe Casugal, who used to manage the 68 billion of the UN pension fund, selecting based on solid data those stocks who are not only doing good business, but who are at the same time committed to the SDGs. I have copies here. I will stop because the time is over, but I don't want to end without the note that you don't get reliable data if you don't make sure that it is a combination between AI and human beings who are feeding the system. If you think that software alone will feed the system, you won't get the results you need. And that is why I believe in the long way PricewaterhouseCoopers took, because as I said yesterday already, I was impressed by Sam Piazza when he wrote together with Bob Eccles the book Value Reporting Revolution. You find everything there. The sad part is that Sam and Bob wrote the book in the 90s, and we are now in 2022. We have no more time. We need to make sure that it has the same accuracy as we know what accounting has to do. And that is why I'm extremely grateful that Kerstin from the BMW Foundation is here as well, because BMW Foundation created a twin system where they say they are helping the mayors and they are helping experts to work together, because that is exactly what is necessary in cities to move forward to SDG implementation, because city administrations don't have the skills yet to apply for the funding which is available in an SDG related way. The Green Deal, EBRD, EIB, all the big entities who are bragging about the amount of money they are having already decided to release to get the SDGs implemented, they only give the money if you fulfill certain criteria. And these certain criteria are, thank God, related to your proposal, where you not only explain that you need a new train, that you need affordable housing, but the way how you do it is tracked and is providing numbers which are scientifically solid, that we can see progress. As I promised that I end on another Beethoven note, it gives you a better understanding why this is important. When Ludwig was already a famous pianist, those who were producing the pianos back then, they were no pianos, they were only cembalo. And the cembalo would pull the strings. So the famous piano producers would make everything being able to say Beethoven is playing on my piano. So there was one piano producer in Augsburg, the best of the best. He produced the piano. He made sure that the piano find its way to Vienna, to Beethoven. Beethoven received it, Beethoven played at it, and then comes what I expect from the UN. Beethoven didn't do what we would all do by showing that somebody is sending such a precious good to me. We would say thank you and great and fantastico, right? But what did Ludwig do? Ludwig wrote the guy a letter saying, thank you for sending the cembalo. It's just another cembalo. It's not a piano. What I need to sing. And what you are doing with pulling strings is not enabling me what I want to do. So I gave it to a friend. Please try harder. Meanwhile, we have pianos which make us sing. And that is the second step. When Beethoven, as you know, he was deaf and he couldn't perform his music any longer, so he needed people who would play his music. And when he found out that the lady who would play piano for him, that she would no longer play, he asked what is going on. And they said, well, this woman was giving birth to a child and it died, and this woman lost her voice. She's no longer talking to her children nor to her husband. So Beethoven wrote her a little note and he said, why don't you come to me and I play for you? So she came. He played all evening in a way that when she left, she was speaking to her children again and to her husband. This planet Earth is Mama Earth, and this Mama is having difficulties talking to us in the way how we are treating this planet. If we don't get the standards right, we don't get to the purpose which we want to achieve. And that is why we need Carlos and Masamba to move on with all the solutions we have from Thomas and the others here in the room. Now I stop and go home.
Thank you very much, Roland. It's so hard to stop such an intervention, but I'd like to thank you both, Celeste and Roland, for this wonderful session. From the Innovation Hub point of view, This is a positive agenda. It's an agenda that we are building together towards development for 10 billion flourishing lives. So we count on your tools. We count also in outreach the performance of these organizations, these entities that are helping us to implement the Paris Agreement in a positive way, and we are here to support you to define performance and to work collectively on what performance means for the climate, but for people. Thank you very much for your contributions, and we look forward to continue collaborating and have your tools and platforms as a part of ours. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to invite to the panelists of the next session. The next session, we are moving to the fourth session of the day, and this is the Mind the Gap, Accelerating Sustainable Transformation with Enabling Technologies and Innovative Policy Making. So it's quite a sophisticated title for a very, very attractive topic on transformative innovation. I'd like to let the panelists to join us. We will resume with this session in a minute. Please, if you can come on front, then we will get ourselves organized here at the front in the podium.